No one is buying homes in Hamilton. The number of home sales in the month of June was down 6% from the same time last year. And that decrease has contributed to a 20% decline year to date. And this drop in sales marks the slowest start to a year since 2010. So where are buyers? Still hesitating. But should you be? Or is this the exact window you've been waiting for? Let's take a look. My name is Morgan Little. I'm a realtor here in Hamilton, and I recently joined the Golfi team. And I was listening to Rob discuss on a podcast recently about how this potentially could be the best time to buy a home that we might see again. And he's not one of these, it's always a good time to buy realtors. And I know they exist, but this is based on experience. I'm sure a lot of you will not agree, so let me know your thoughts in the comments as we get into the market stats for the month of June 2025. Starting with a statement from Nicholas von Brodau of Cornerstone stating that while some markets across Canada are showing signs of stability with more balanced conditions, including the Waterloo region, the Hamilton-Burlington area is still experiencing subdued sales, putting downward pressure on home sale prices. While global market uncertainty has some buyers waiting on the sidelines, growing inventory levels and softer prices present a unique window of opportunity for those with a stable income and savings who are ready to leverage today's market conditions to their advantage. There it is again, but let's take a look at what the numbers are saying. Starting with the basics, the number of home sales in the Hamilton-Burlington region came in at 831 in the month of June. Like I mentioned at the beginning, that's down almost 6.5% from the same time last year. Meanwhile, new listings held steady at just over 2,000, basically the exact same thing we saw at this time last year. But here's the kicker. Inventory has jumped up over 21% with nearly 4,000 homes sitting on the market. So again, buyers, you have the pick of the litter right now. That's pushing months of supply to almost 5, which maybe doesn't sound like much, but that's a 30% increase year over year. In simple terms, we have more homes and fewer buyers. We are deep in buyer market territory. Let me give you an example. One of my clients recently had been looking for a detached home in East Hamilton. Just 6 months ago, they were experiencing bidding wars. But in June 2025, we found a home that had been sitting on the market for 30 plus days. That's now become the norm. That's up 25% from last year. And we were able to negotiate $35,000 off the asking price. We got them a home inspection and a flexible closing. So this market is rewarding patience and preparation. Now, in terms of average home price, you're looking at just under $890,000. That's down a couple percent from last year. Now, as always, keep in mind, these numbers are across the entire Hamilton-Burlington region. So first-time home buyers, don't let that $900,000 price tag scare you. There are plenty of affordable options, more than ever really, and different neighborhoods and different areas all have their own micro markets with different things happening. And as you can see from this graph, the bulk of the activity is happening in the city of Hamilton. And so if you'd like to discuss your personal journey, feel free to book a call. There's a link below, or simply shoot me a text and I'm happy to have a chat. Now let's zoom in on Hamilton a little bit further. In Hamilton, we saw 503 sales total in June. That's down 6% as well. And it's down from 568 in the month of May. There were almost 1,300 new listings, adding to a total of 2,500 homes available for sale in Hamilton region. And the average price in Hamilton just shy of $822,000. Now again, that includes areas like Dundas, Ancaster, Stony Creek, etc. So like I said, there are affordable homes and affordable pockets throughout the city for those who don't have a budget of $800,000 to $900,000, which I understand in this climate, that's very common. I have been speaking with a ton of first-time homebuyers lately as people are getting more curious and maybe thinking about dipping their toe in. And the first thing I always recommend is to speak with a mortgage broker so you know exactly how much home you can afford when you do start looking. I'm happy to connect you with one of my preferred partners so that you're dealing with someone who can really help you. Again, feel free to reach out and I can put you two together. So back to that average price, that's down less than 1% from last year, which may be surprising considering how slow I just said the market is, but prices are not plummeting. This may be contrary to what some of the doomsday sayers have been predicting all along, but the fact is that home prices are not dropping drastically. That being said, there's definitely room for negotiation, more than we've seen in a long time. So again, like I said, if you're in a position to buy, now could be a great window. I just put out a video about how you can get a deal in 2025. You can watch that here. So what does this mean for you? Well, as a buyer, you can shop with no pressure. You have time to think, inspect, and make conditional offers. And interest rates are pretty good currently. Fixed rates have been increasing, however, slightly, so it could be advantageous at this point to lock in a rate, or you go variable to see what's going to happen long term with the fixed rates. And remember, you're buying the home, not the rate. The prices and the negotiation room that you're seeing now may not be available once rates start to come down. Now, if you're a seller, I can't stress this enough. I say this all the time, but you need to prep well and price correctly. Don't get it twisted. Homes are still selling, but they're the ones that are priced realistically and move-in ready. Overpricing in this market will lead to longer days on market and most likely you getting less money in your pocket than if you had just priced it right the first time. I know things feel uncertain in this market, but honestly it's somewhat refreshing to not have a lot of pressure as a buyer and to not have the frenzy we had as a seller back in the day. Some people might disagree, those who sold their house for $200,000, $300,000 over asking, but what I mean is we can all take our time and breathe a little bit right now. Again, if I can ever be of help, feel free to reach out. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.